Hey guys, welcome back to another sketchbook tour. This is my latest sketchbook. This is a Rowney A5 sketchbook, and I got a random picture from a magazine and I stuck it on with Mod Podge. And this is a plastic cover which I put on top because it was falling apart. So it's A5, 62 pages, 150 GSM. And I started it on the 16th of September and I finished it on the 19th of March. My goals were to use more gouache, draw more men/boys, and do more studies, including foreshortening, shoes, facial expressions, and eyes. And if you like this sketchbook and you want to see more of my art, then you can check me out on Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr, and it's all Gleamiarts. And I did this drawing, and it's of two people on Instagram. It's at Vampireology and at Demi_Bourgeois, and I'll put the usernames up there. And this is a drawing of Dimple from Mob Psycho 100, but I made him look extra cursed, and a random girl, and some of my OCs, and some of my rocks, and a chunky Pikachu. I drew Nezuko from Kimetsu no Yaiba, and Tome as well, some other stuff, and Mina from My Hero Academia. It's more random stuff, and by this point Inktober had started, so I used Fairy Little Peach's prompt list, and the first one was Snail, and I drew a snail man. And the second one was Jam, and I drew a jam girl, and her hair's made out of jam. And then by then I felt kind of like restricted by Inktober and I stopped. And here was when I went in. I saw some pictures and I went in straight with some pens. I didn't use pencil or anything. That was fun, and I tried it again and it didn't come out as successful as I liked. And then I drew my D&D character Dinetra here. And I drew with my right hand because I'm left-handed, so I wanted to try draw my right hand and see how successful that came out. And it came out alright. Yeah, appreciate it. Wait, no, that's the wrong word. I like how it came out, there you go. And another doodle page with washi tape. I did more fashion drawings here as well. And I played a little bit with gouache because I had some extra left on my palette. I did some hand studies. And this is another page where I had loads of paint and I wanted to just stick it on here and experiment as well. I used the Prismacolor sparkle brush on this bit, and then I put some white acrylic on top because I didn't really like it. And then I put some gouache here as well, and here. I like that page. I did some little studies of drawings I saw on, I think, Tumblr, I'm not sure. And I used some Aquarelle pens, and then I just added water to it and went on top with pencil. And I saw this funny post on Tumblr, which I'll link here. But it was just like a picture of two books. One was a book on goths, and there was a book on paranormal investigation or something. And I was like, oh, what if the person that originally owned this book was a goth paranormal investigator? And I made a character based on that. Another fun experiment page with a little bit of collage. And this was an old prompt I had from my very first sketchbook, my little black ring bound one, which I'll link in the eye. But the prompt was, it was Cactus Punk, there we go. And I redrew it here. And this is a sticker page, because I love thinking of sticker ideas and ideas for t-shirts. And this one became a sticker / a t-shirt design, which I'll link in the description if you you want to check that out. And this is another experimentation page. The base is gouache, then I went on top with pens and a little bit of watercolour. And that's another Prismacolor sparkle brush. And I just drew stuff that I wanted in real life. And then that's the design that became the t-shirt, these two right here. But these other ones, like, I really wanted. And I drew Goth Hello Kitty, and I redacted a lot. And I also wrote in Japanese because I'm a weeb. And I had a lot of yellow paint and I just stuck it on here. And the drawing underneath was ugly, so I was like, well, killing two birds with one stone. And this was, I was trying to go straight in with watercolour. And I drew some faces which I saw on Unsplash. And I drew a snake and some people. And this one I went in straight in watercolour. I like how this one came out the most, because I think it looks cool. And some wiggly wobbly stuff. And I drew my OCs as cats. I only drew 2 of them. But yeah. And this is my other OC. And her name is... it's Lilac. There we go. Her name's Lilac. Wow, it took me a while to remember that. And I was having some more fun with my brush. Like, I really like this pen, but I feel like the sparkle's too much. It's kind of ironic. But yeah, like, it's just nice. And I drew this guy from Unsplash. I went straight in with pen. And it came out alright. I really expected it to come out really wonky, and it didn't. And I was like, oh, I'm improving. And this is another collage page. And I did a speed paint of this. And I'll link here in the corner. I really like this. This was going to be like a really big piece, and then I never got round to it. So I just used it as a gouache and acrylic dumping ground. I used, this is when I also had a lot of gouache. So I used this, I just did a quick wash of the gouache. And then I just went back in and drew my OCs and a random photograph. Okay, this is around the time I was like, okay, I need to draw more men. I'm only drawing women and men occasionally. So I just made this the dedicated men page. That sounds weird. But I just looked around my room and then wrote random nouns that came to my head. And then I put them in clusters of 3. And I made a character of each one. And this is my OC Bryn. And he's fun to draw. I did more funny, like, OC stuff here. And so this is like, I don't know how to explain this properly. So like, I'm making a comic, and within the comic there's an anime, but it's a fake anime. And this is it. It's a mess, but I like it. And I did some hand studies, and this one's my favourite. I'm not really a fan of I don't know, I actually like all of them. Yeah, I like all of them. And I think this was gouache, a gouache base. I'm not sure. And I drew pixie locks and some other random doodles and plants. And I drew this. This was from the Ryan Lowe Ready to Wear Spring Summer Collection 2019. And I drew a random dude and a skull. In fact, if you can see it, it's this skull right here. And another page, I got some like off-brand paint markers because I thought Poscas were a bit expensive. I was like, you know what, let's just get some random ones. And I doodled on here, and I went back again in with some my Crayola pens and a fountain pen as well. Here's when I wanted to do more thumbnails, so I don't do enough. And when I have an idea for a drawing but it's too late to draw at night, I just write it down. And this was a study. I'm getting JoJo vibes from this one. I don't know why. Okay, so this is my OC Gabriel. He's fun to draw as well. And this is Mob from Mob Psycho 100. He's also fun to draw. And I made like a comic based on this funny Tumblr post I saw. It was about trying to tame crows. And this is my OC Jamie. And this is my OC Ophelia, and I drew her room. Like what her room would look like. Okay, so around this time was when I was changing the ink on my printer. I was like, do you think I could paint with this? And fun fact, you can paint with printer ink. And the purple stuff is real ink, like drawing ink. And it went on top with my Faber Castell brush pens. And I dipped, so I had a random, you know, the brush pens that are filled with water. I got one of those and I was like, can you dip them into ink? And you can. This is what came out. The guy's face came out really weird. So I stuck a piece of paper on top and redrew it. And I like it a lot now. Another doodle page. So the camera cut out, which is really annoying. So drew these drawings from the V&A Museum. And I went to the Japanese part of the V&A Museum because they separate each part of the museum into like countries. And this was the Japanese part, and I drew I think a samurai. And I was doing it for ages, and then people were walking past and some were like stopping and watching. I was like, oh, this is like a live stream, but in real life. And I drew a Lolita girl. And I got a bit bored of drawing stuff in the exhibit, so I drew people when they weren't looking. And I came back again and drew some stuff. Like ribbons are really fun to draw. It's a good doodle. And I drew my skull again. And I went in paint markers and I drew my hand holding random things. And I got this cool brush pen from Lidl. I don't know what brand it is, but it's really cool. But it's water based, so I went back in again with water. It came out really nicely. I did some more collage with this hand. And I put this dude on top. And because I had lots of acrylic in my palette again, I went back in again and I did some impasto, which is like where you put like big dollops of paint and it becomes 3D. And I drew this person on Tumblr, at Woozy Doozy. There we go. And I think the base of this is like I did a wash of printer ink as well on top, well underneath. Oh yeah, this is also printer ink underneath. Came out really vibrant, but the yellow was so hard to get out. Pink was, well, magenta was really easy, and so was black, but yellow hard, very hard. And sometimes I just draw on extra paper. I had some blue cartridge paper and I drew on that as well. I drew some shoes, some of my other OCs as well, and Regan from Mobsite 100. And I saw these cool clothes, which I can't find them anymore, which is really annoying. I drew some characters based on them. Yeah, I like their dynamic, it's quite funny. Oh. And then I was looking through this like book on the human body. I drew some nerve cells and fun stuff like that. And I wrote to myself, find interest in the mundane. Because at this time I didn't know what to draw. I was like kind of stuck. Maybe it was art block, I don't know. But opening up that human body book and just drawing from it really helped. And here was another fun experimentation page. And I drew my old A-level photographs. Just for funsies. And this was a column from the V&A Museum. And I put a fresh flower in it. And for some reason a Tesco sticker. And a dude drawn my right hand, which actually looks quite good, in my opinion. It looks a lot better than that. Like, wow. And I drew that with my left hand. And so I went into uni really early to hand something in, but the thing didn't like open until like 2 hours, and I was just there like so bored. My phone was dying, the charger was really rubbish, so I drew this. It's kind of ironic because I wrote I'd rather be drawing, but I was drawing I'd rather be drawing. Like, it's kind of a conundrum, maybe, I don't know. And I drew the goth girl, paranormal girl, some more collage, and people. And the reason I wrote saying Pika Pika is because that's the scientific name of the Eurasian magpie. I really like magpies and crows and ravens. I like corvids, not COVID, corvid, you know, CORVID, yeah. And I drew, no, I did not draw that, that's a photograph, but it's from a magazine I cut out, and I drew a person here. And some more, I drew some more photographs from the V&A museum. And here I was doing a thing where I looked at different things around my room and I tried to make a character of it. So I had a little clown thing, a clown piggy bank, and the beckoning cat. So I combined them to be like a clown cat, well, clown beckoning cat. But when I was trying to draw the little coin, I think it's called a koban, but I don't know what the characters were written on it. So I tried googling the characters because I wanted to write them in the right order, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so that really put me off. I didn't do the drawing. So I did some studies on line of action, and I'll link that below as well. It's a really good website. And these are some more random studies. I drew this plant from someone's studio tour. There you go. And this was from Pinterest. And I drew some houses because I wanted to know what my OC's house would look like, because in the comic it's the first panel you see. And I drew this cool cosplay. And in the comic I saw, which was funny, not a comic, a picture which I saw, and I made a comic out of the picture. Oof. And this is the blue base, but I think that's the printer ink. And then I went on top with blue gouache, then I went on top with even more gouache, then I went on top with purple ink. And I drew a little column there that might not be easy to see though. And then here was like, so I redrew two of my old characters. And I attempted to draw two characters from this webcomic I'm reading called Crumbs, but then they didn't really come out the way I wanted them to. And I drew Yuna and Kawa-chan. I really like that webcomic as well. And this is another old OC, which is very edgy. And I drew Bryn skateboarding. Oh, this is another fun page. I watered down, is it gouache? Acrylic? Oh, I watered down acrylic and then I painted on top with some brush pens. And yeah, this is acrylic. I decided to draw every single one of my OCs. I've accidentally missed out a few because there wasn't enough space. And so I used the Monster Girl Maker thing. I randomized it, and that was the original randomized design. I was like, wow, this is ugly. So I like slowly dialed it back until it came out the way I wanted to. And this character is called Rudy. This one's called Verna. I did the same with her as well, but I forgot to draw the randomized version. I did some teeth studies. They came out really creepy. I don't like them. I drew some mushrooms and fungi. I drew them straight in with pen. And yeah. Oh, this is a page where I do so like every other sketchbook I draw, I give myself like a little prompt to like draw a girl with like wavy hair looking to like the left in a 3/4 view, and I try and like do in loads of different styles to see what it could look like. And I did a mini blob challenge here. I like that face the most. And this is my new D&D character, Meryl. And she is a high elf wild mage sorcerer. I can't really nail her design, which is really annoying me. And I can't draw her face well. Oof. Oh, I forgot to show this little thing right here. I just wrote some notes about what she might be personality-wise. And here is when I went to Vertex London, so this is around January, and I did life drawing here. And this is all from Vertex London, and here I did some little doodling. And I did another page with a bit of gouache, not sure what this is. And I drew a dude. And that's it. It's my sketchbook. Oh yeah, this is my, I don't know what this is, what do I call this? Swatch page, there we go. I made this envelope pocket thing because I do a lot of collage and I have a lot of little pieces laying about, so I made a little pocket for it. And yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.